All right, still coming off here. Beautiful. From 938, that's 60 points below the break. It's still going. Have I sourced the issue? I have not. I have no idea what it is. I'm just going to start replacing parts until it's fixed. Tremendous amount of put buying. Tremendous amount. And skew down to 66.75. Tremendous amount. Should have held my short position, huh? My first one. It's got a BSOD on outlier move when you're inside a position. I bet you all stay on that desktop. Yep. VIX is right on back up. An aggressive move on the VIX. So now that the VIX expiration event is over, it's time to get back into VIX. I told you all that my target is still Friday's lows. Friday, October 10th. Not today necessarily. Not today. But soon. Soon. What's up, YouTube? How's it going? Still dropping. NASDAQ. Just smoked all the liquidity on NASDAQ or on ES. Next target is 66.75. Incredibly amount of put buying, call selling. Incredible amount. All coming on down. We're already down 150 points on NASDAQ and falling. Can you all good? What does that mean? The skew is lower. The options are lower. The price action says 3C top wick. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Could this be the daily high run and just keep dropping it from here? Yeah, I mean, it could. I don't want to get that carried away, but it's possible, yeah. The VIX expiration event is now over, so the catalyst for that move is now gone. And now it's back to reaction. The reaction market. So we're through the momentum phase. Now we're in reaction phase. And yeah. How do we get information on buying puts? I use a service called Spot Gamma in conjunction with Bookmap. They're fantastic 1-2 punch. V bottom, no V top. I don't know. They may do it. So far, they're already giving back almost 200 points. Heading that direction. They have a tremendous amount of put buying. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Look at this right here. Look at that right there. So it's likely the VIX move is erased. That's madness. Well, they are piling back into VIX. In fact, they've almost undone the entirety of the VIX roll-off this morning. It's a phenomenal bounce on the VIX. And if they dump today's move again, especially after NVIDIA, I mean, it's going to be, especially with everyone knowing for sure that we're having a Santa rally, it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful. $833 and dropping, baby. $833 and dropping. Down we go. Where's the 50%? First 50% mark is right at 780. There's no more liquidity left on the book anywhere close. It's a very light book. NASDAQ has all the way down to 800 liquidity. Tremendous amount of call selling, put buying. Very bearish flow. VIX is rocketing. See how quick things change? Do you see how quick things change? Did all the resting orders go away? No, they filled them. 6680 was a ton of orders and they filled them. What's up, Mojo? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the Bookmap Options Millionaire stream for the day on Wednesday, November 19th. Gold? What's gold doing? Let's go take a look at gold. Gold right now. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Gold just went from 41.34 and just dumped on high volume. Right back to 4084. This 4084 has now been on my chart now for a long time. I put this back on there in early October, and they've been back and forth. 4084 is in the mean reversion. Every time we go above it, we come back to it. Every time we drop below it, we come back to it. And now they're dropping right on back to it. So macro, that is your basis right now. NASDAQ is getting wrecked at the moment. ES is getting wrecked. Put buying, call selling, tremendous amount. We have liquidity flow down, skew on the book. Everything says down right now, for now at least. Same thing, just take it one step at a time. Right? Look what happens when you wait for the right side of the V. The right side of the V is your best friend. If you don't know what I'm talking about, come join the server and hang out with us. Right side of the V. Talk to me nice. 275 million of puts purchased. That is down from 1.3 billion of puts sold. They have bought back 1.5 billion of put notional. And they've sold off 1.7 billion of call notional. That is a phenomenally bearish change. How many times have I used the word phenomenal today? At least 50? Like 67 times? New low of the day, or new low of the afternoon, I should say, or late morning. New low of the past 5 minutes. On NASDAQ, coming down to the 50. They take the 50 out. I will target low of the day. Did I just blow your mind? A phenomenal amount of time? That's right. Ironically enough, phenomenal is one of the words I have to use spell check on, like every time I try to spell it. I don't know why. My mind doesn't spell phenomenal right. Could be wrong, but if this is runs and we plummet, should this be fast moves down? Well, if we do that, if we do take out low of the day today, that is a massive selling climax. But I don't know if I don't know if that's, I don't know if I don't want to predict that type of move or try to predict, because predictions, you poop in one hand, you put predictions in the other, you tell me which one fills up first. However, we are at the 50%. We just closed half of the opening move, which is a massive move. I mean, we just dropped 200 points. So 230 points and falling. And now we're coming off. We have put buying, call selling. We have options. We have order flows down to 6,800 and below. Now we put on 670 orders at 66.62. An absolute phenomenal move. Did I say right side? I said right side of the V. Right side of the V, which is why I have this orange line here on your chart. If you're looking to short, there's where you want to short. You want to short here, not here or here. You want to short there, right side of the V. Up, down, here is where you want to short. Still dropping. You don't think this could take out low of the day and put in a new low? Test and try it. Talk right in the ear with the radio voice. Hello, homeless Kodiak. You're listening to Smooth Jazz on 102.4. 760 and dropping. Nice AR. Well done, buddy. Let's go. What is the V? Is that an indicator of something proprietary? No. In fact, I don't offer anything proprietary. I think there's no such thing as anything proprietary in the trading space. It's all just how we view or order flow. Having said that, the right side of the V is just a concept. If I'm looking to short or long, whichever, you're trying to short the highs, right? Well, the market moves up, then the market moves down like this. If you try to short here, you're going to get destroyed. And of course, it's obvious you don't want to short here because you're going to face more run up. You want to short after the right side of the V has formed. Let the market tell you where it's topped, and then you take a short entry. If you try to catch the top, you're going to get wrecked. And I use the 3 C's, the 3 criteria trading system that I've come up with, proprietary, to get into a short position. So it's just a concept. If whether you're going to buy the dip or long or short the rip, make sure you're on the right side of the V. Another top wick back over here. We now have 700 million of puts purchased, and that is down from 1.3 billion of puts sold. So that is almost a $2 billion inflow into puts. Massively bearish. Colossally bearish. The order flow has gone down from 66.80 and is now skewed to 66.50. We've already taken out 50% of the range, which probability says we're now going to attack a low of the day. Can you imagine? Be advised, we have NVIDIA earnings after the bell. Is that today? That's today, right? I thought it was tomorrow. Is it today? I'm pretty sure it's today. Before I stick my foot in my mouth. Yeah, it is today. NVIDIA earnings is this afternoon. So we have a phenomenal volatility event today. Is this typical on Vixpiration? It is typical to get moves like this on Vixpiration. Yes, but not to this degree. This is a very large move. Vixpiration typically are very strong trends, but this is very aggressive. This is upper tier of these type of events. Usually have trend days. Well, this is... I'm very skeptical to call this a range day. I mean, technically, yes, it is a range day. But this is a phenomenal morning trend, and we're about to have a phenomenal trend back down. Which, yes, very large range. Semantics. What a day. That's right, BGZ. You're welcome, Chad. You're welcome. Once this fails, I will attack low of the day. Low of the day. Caught half the morning run. Got all in all this right side of the V so far. Nice homeless Kodiak. I love it. VIX has recovered nearly the entirety of the move. Look at that. Another 20, 30 cents. It'll recover the entire V. That's amazing. The Vixpiration event is ended, and now they're buying back into volatility. I love it. I love it. What y'all want to do? Man, the option flow is ridiculously bearish. Let's see. How's everybody doing on Bookmap? Let's go to the Bookmap server. How y'all doing? Welcome. Welcome for those, especially those who are not in the Discord server. What's up, Steven? How you doing, buddy? The skew on Bookmap told us a ton of information. So at the highs, what do they like to do? The number one way that I utilize Bookmap, the number one way is skew. I zoom out on Bookmap. Some people have made the comments that they have watched other Bookmap streamers, and other Bookmap streamers zoom all the way in. They go all the way into the nit and gritty details. I zoom out because I use Bookmap in a situational awareness. Maybe it's my aviation military background. Is that I like to look at a high level view so I can be situationally aware. Bookmap does that. Bookmap allows me to figure out where the market is skewing order flow. Sometimes it tells me nothing. Sometimes it tells me a great deal. Today told me a great deal. The higher we went, the stronger the liquidity they put to the downside. And now they stacked it 66.80 and now 66.50. And we just dumped 240 points on NASDAQ. Phenomenal move down. So the skew identifying lower. The market loves activity. Everything comes down to two things, volume and or liquidity. They could be one and the same. They could be different, depends how you look at it. But volume and liquidity is all that matters. That's why Bookmap is so important. That's why price action is so important. Because you need to learn to identify where the volume and liquidity is. And if the market is telling you, hey, we're putting all the activity lower, you can wait your time, wait the setup, and play to that area. They stacked it. I can at the moment, Homeless. Let's get through this, and I'll take a look at it for you. And if this 50 fails on 780, I think we'll go down as well. I think we'll attack low of the day. Made $300 and I'm done for that. Nice, M-Petty. Nice. If this breaks, down we go. You're playing the 1 minute 3Cs low and though. That's the 1 minute. We have a volume spike in the 1 minute, but that's only 1C. Wait for the 5 minute. Especially on a day like today. I am hungry. What are y'all having for lunch? Next week is Thanksgiving. Can't wait. Love it. We got our mashed potatoes ready. We had a test Thanksgiving dinner 2 days ago to dial in the recipes. Smoked turkey is the best thing you'll ever put in your mouth. It's fantastic. Even if you don't like turkey, do a smoked turkey. Mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, homegrown sweet potatoes too. We grew 140 pounds of sweet potatoes. We're going to eat like 30 of them. Next week will be a short week. Yeah, so we have holiday closures next week, which will come into effect on Friday. So I'm telling you, from here on out, the rest of the day today, tomorrow and Friday, we have a lot of volatility coming. They're going to adjust the books on Friday going into next week. When playing the 3 C's, do you find a fixed risk reward like a 1 to 2? Nope. I don't care. I don't calculate R&R at all. R&R does come into play in my decision making, but not a calculated R&R. I'm not sitting here thinking, well, here's a 1 to 3 ratio, I'm going to take it. I could care less about R&R. In fact, in my opinion, people on X talk about R&R to sound technical. They want to sound overly fancy and professional and technical, so they use R&R. I think it should not even come into your basis in terms of calculating trades. So I do calculate risk reward. For example, what did I tell y'all after we broke about 24,880? I said, if you're not long yet, I would not recommend getting long because the risk is not worth the reward. You may get another couple of 30, 40 points on NASDAQ, which you would have, but it's not worth the risk of rejection. So that's how I play risk reward, is based on liquidity, where the market is, it's likelier to reject than it is to go up within a relative range. The higher you go, the more risk you're taking on along in the position. That's the way I play R&R. But I don't sit here and say, all right, well, I'm about to take a 3-1 trade. No. I could care less about that. If I see a high quality setup, I'm going to take it, whether it's 1 to 1 or 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 or whatever. By the way, we just rejected 50 and now we're attacking low of the day, so be ready. You're welcome in advance. What are the 3 C's? The 3 C's are my trading system, is my trading system. It stands for 3 criteria. It encompasses volume price analysis. Today I'm going in to try to get some Arby's steak nuggets. Are they good? I haven't had those. Of course, I haven't had Arby's in like 3 years. I'm going to invest in spot gamma myself soon. I can afford it now because of the 3 C's. Isn't that funny? 3 C's, baby. Nice homeless Kodiak. I got to send my boy Dan something. Hold on. Oh, man. You're going to try it for the first time? Will Spot Gamma have a fancy discount code? I think they will. Yeah. They haven't announced any Black Friday sales yet, but when Options Millionaire took that short, I sold calls. I held through a little red. You're welcome. Nice, Chris. You're welcome, man. I was a little early on that, but obviously in trading, early is the same thing as being wrong. But I had the right idea. I was just a touch early. My beef dino rib will blow that turkey away. I bet it will. You can't. Steak will never beat turkey. That's true. I should have said that's the best turkey you'll ever put in your mouth, but we have super high volume there. In fact, that is the highest volume candle of the day right there at 11:06. However, that doesn't mean 3 C's yet. That doesn't mean 3 C's. That is only uno C. Uno C. We need tres C. Or drei C. I think that's how you say it in German. That's the only languages I know. Spanish and German to count to 10. Say siete. Oh my gosh. See, I can be cringe in multi-language. Another bounce. We have a high volume inflow right there at 11:06. We're at VWAP. Nice. We've undone most of the morning move, which is saying a lot. That is not an immaterial move. This is not just a simple pullback. This is a full-on rejection. It's still not wanting to hold. VIX is still climbing. Realize the event that they're in. This is not a normal day. Remember, the reason why we're in this situation here is because of expiration. Understand the market conditions we are in. This is not a normal Wednesday. This is expiration. The reason why we pumped is because they sold the VIX. They sold a tremendous amount of puts, and we rocket shipped. Now they're mean reverting. They're buying back the volatility. They're buying back puts, and we've come back down. Macro, we are in a distribution downside macro situation, which means we're coming on down to October 10th lows. So now that we've mean reverted and the expiration event is closed, we have this style of price action. That's why we're getting such an aggressive sell event. What seasoning do you use on that turkey, and what temp are you smoking? I will do a smoke this year in place of a deep fried. I don't do anything fancy with the seasoning, so I do a brine. I just bought whatever brine was at Publix, and I brined it for 2 days. I will say it was a touch salty, so I think I'll pull that brine back to 1 day. I don't inject. I never saw any benefit with injecting. So I brine it, and then I do a Meat Church's turkey rub, and then I baste it consistently with the drippings and butter. So after the turkey starts to produce drippings in a pan, I'll put 2 sticks of butter in the drippings, let it melt, and I'll just baste the turkey with that delicious golden buttery juice. Delicious. And then let that crisp up, and man, it's juicy and amazing. And you dip that in the giblet gravy with some mashed potatoes. Oh man, I was one of those dudes who hated turkey. Like, I didn't care for Thanksgiving because I'm not a turkey fan until I had a smoked turkey. It's amazing. Still dropping off here. The high volume spikes are failing. So if you want to play the bounce, you need a higher high 5-minute bounce. Yo, you met him? Oh, nice, D Trent. Yeah, I love his stuff, man. It's good. Good. He's got a good channel. Try a 24-hour dry brine. Never done that. Interesting. Do I have a chat room? Yes, sir, I do. I do. We are co-streaming today on Bookmap's Discord server and our Discord server. He was at a dinner we went to and cooked the beef short rib. Oh, I love beef short ribs. Braised short ribs are one of my favorite meals. Braised short ribs with mashed potatoes is one of my favorite meals. It's amazing. You can do a poor man's braised short ribs with a chuck roast. It's very similar. All right. We have a tremendous amount of put buying, call selling. I'm trying not to use the word phenomenal, so I will substitute tremendous in place. Look at that. Blue line is puts, the green line is calls. I'll take a look, Peter. That's good stuff. Thanks, Peter. Liquidity down to 6650 Bookmap. That is the skew. That is, in fact, not only the skew, but the only amount of liquidity on the book. Sophie seems to like Arby's. I think so. I used to be a big Arby's fan, but one of two things have happened. Either Arby's quality went downhill or my palate matured and I realized that it was crap. And then again, all fast food has done that, so I can't tell which one's which. The biggest disappointment of my adult life, Crystal's hamburgers. Crystal's hamburgers were an absolute delight, amazing. Little 2-inch by 2-inch pieces of joy. And now it's like all the people, all the guys that have purchased Crystal's restaurants, they all got together and created a Crystal's yearly annual conference, and they created the crappiest restaurant award. And they all compete to see who can have the crappiest restaurant. That's the only way I can explain the quality of collectively all of the Crystal's restaurants. To the point where now I think they have a category. It's like best Crystal's restaurant. The worst Crystal's restaurant in this year goes to this city, but they actually have another category for drug dealing too, just to step it up a notch. Because I'm pretty sure the last guy that served me a Crystal's burger was high on meth. I wouldn't feed Arby's to my dog. It's pretty terrible. All right, so we're still coming off here. There's no high volume 3C bounces yet. We have high volume, but there's no bounces to accommodate those high volume inflows. So the only logical target here is the morning low of 24,573 on NASDAQ and 6635 on DS. If we get a high volume bottom wick that closes a high on the 5-minute, then you can play along. I'm not here to predict. I'm here to observe. I'm here to observe. Your pallet got the upgrade. Yeah. I'm not here to predict. I'm here to observe. If you want a prediction, call Miss Chloe. Miss Chloe, man. I still think we're touching morning low, though. I still think we're touching morning low. Yeah, call me now for your free tarot reading. 65.96 is my target. Nice. That'd be 96, 65. That's 60 points down, bro. That's an aggressive target. You talking about for today's target or overall target? The merger of many food suppliers have caused a homogenization in flavor and quality profiles for chain food. Cisco supplies this crazy high percentage of the food that we eat. That's why appetizers taste the same everywhere you go. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Last night I embodied my inner Latina and made some homemade tortillas. It was delicious. I'm a quarter Puerto Rican, but I don't think Puerto Ricans make tortillas. I don't think they're a tortilla country. Do they make tortillas in Puerto Rico? I don't know. My grandmother's Puerto Rican. She never made tortillas. She made dishes and stuff. Latino, yeah, not Latina. Sorry. I didn't catch the rise this morning, but it stayed on the scope. Caught the move down from 24,955. Nice, J-Dog. Andrea. I like it, noob. Locking it up for the day. Thanks for the guidance. Nice, Kyle. Well done, buddy. I got to start referring to certain countries as tortilla countries. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to get myself in trouble. Puerto Rican girlfriend says no, they don't make tortillas. That's what I thought. My grandmother never once made a tortilla, so I didn't think so. We just launched Day Trader Challenges, first of a kind product in the prop industry that lets traders choose a 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, or 8 hour challenge. You can pick their stake, select payout multiplier. What is this? I just got an email from a company called 8cap.com. Y'all go to 8cap.com and see if it's something. See if it's something you'll want. I'll have to look them up. All right, so we're still sitting here at 66.60 on ES. NASDAQ is sitting 24,730. We still haven't bounced. What are we doing, baby? What are we doing? $66.50. Let's go to the 5-minute. The 5-minute finally has, if this candle closes, you will have a 3C long indication at 24,740. But it's got to close. If not, then down to the lows we go, Davy Jones Locker. What you got, Craig? I like it. I like it. Hey, we need to get you using the screenshot tool so we don't click on links. Craig, that'd be great. This ACAP looks quite different. I've never heard of them before. They just sent me an email. I'm going to take a look and see it. Anything, I get emails all the time, but 95% of it is crap that it won't benefit anybody, so I just delete it. So I'll have to I always look at it at least, see what's good. The spot gamma still selling. We have put buying. They're buying back some calls here. So they went from 80 million of calls to 460. So they bought back about 400 million worth of calls. And if they close over 740, we'll have a 3C long. On VIX option standard expiration day, and the event is over, is this post-sell-off typical? Well, I'm not going to say whether or not it's typical or not. However, this style of price action is typical for a VIX-expiration style event, or OPEX for that matter, because it's all based on positioning. And it all depends on what happens prior to the event. If we have very flat sessions, like multiple flat chop sessions into VIX-expiration, then VIX-expiration ain't going to be much. If we have a massive inflation of VIX and volatility, which like we had the past 2 days, 25% increase on volatility the past 2 days, what happens today? You know, the VIX expiration ends at 10 a.m. So they kill the VIX. They drop the VIX to crush it because they're selling the crap out of VIX calls. What did we see yesterday? We saw a tremendous amount of VIX call selling. VIX call selling. So they're juicing the orange, so to speak. That orange got nice and fat and juicy. They picked it and they're squeezing it. That's what volatility is doing. And they're also selling puts on the S&P. That's what we saw. Today, you saw a tremendous amount of put selling on the 0 DTE and VIX call selling. VIX got tanked. The S&P rocketed. And then after the VIX expiration ended, right at 10 o'clock, what happened? The price action shifted into a consolidation. VIX started to bounce, and now we have the real reactionary momentum, which is just a continuation of the macro scale. The macro scale right now, it's not bullish. It's very bearish. It's very distribution. And here we are giving back the entirety of this morning's work. You're welcome, Frumple. So all of your analysis on these events has to do with what happened the prior days into it, because it's all about positioning. Liquidity and positioning, that's it. That's all that matters. That's why I use Bookmap and Spot Gamut, because it allows me to track liquidity on the order book and on the option chain. It's a 1-2 combo punch. It's a rope-a-dope. By the way, sweet move. Couldn't get a close over the prior high, so we never got a qualified 3C, so the continuation to the morning low is still valid. No 3C long equals a continuation short. 1.4 billion of puts, 100 million of calls. Tremendously bearish. 2 days away from winning a challenge on TPT. Nice. Nice. Well, get funded, get paid, baby. Get funded, get paid. We're about to start the next $1,000 giveaway for TakeProfitTrader challenge competition. Details will be released shortly, and we're going to get going, baby. Just in time for Thanksgiving. I want y'all to take my $1,000. All you have to do is take it. Reach out and grab it. Four more minutes and we got to call it a day. That'll be the end of the Bookmap stream. For the giveaway, do we need to start another challenge or be funded? You have to the old competition, which is about over. I don't think anyone's still in the running. You had to sign up with the OMTPT code from October 1st to October 6th. You had to use the code. Use that account to get funded. And that funded account needs to be open for 30 days with taking payouts and actively trading. So if you're not inside that competition, then we'll start a new one, and I'll give you a week to sign up using the code. And you could sign up. What I'll do is you'll sign up. Instead of making it open-ended, you could reset as many times as you want in that 1 week, and then after that week, I'll close it, and then that'll be it. Whoever wins the competition wins it. I don't want to leave it open-ended because I don't want to encourage resets. I want you to be able to enter, get your account going, and then lock it. Nice, noob. 200 points on 4 minis. Dude. Send me $1,000. Here, I'll give you my Venmo. Well done. Couldn't do it with the Lord's grace. That's right. And you jabronis. Nice, noob. Don't bounce it. Well, if they bounce it, just play the 3 Cs. Remember, we're in the reaction phase of the market right now, so it's a little more difficult than momentum phase. This morning was like taking candy from a baby. It was easy. 2 more minutes. We got to wrap up the stream. Hit me up with any questions that you have. Throw me a DM. Put them in the channel. Utilize your tools. ChatGPT. Chat OMPT. Bitcoin is now below 89,000. Bitcoin is getting destroyed. What is that, down 30% in the past month? God, man. I don't think Santa Claus is checking his making a list and checking it twice. I think he's checking his brokerage account twice because he's long Bitcoin. Small humble brag. Not only caught this breakdown, but I passed my first eval ever. Thanks to OM and the other regulars here, you give me hope when I needed it, pushed, and most helpful all along the way. I don't know how to say enough to express what this means to me. That's amazing, Dave. I'm super, super happy for you. That's a phenomenally big event. And I want you to relish in it and take it slow. One small trade at a time and then build it up. The hard part's over, baby. Now it's just executing. Congratulations. All right, that is 11:30. 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. I got to call it a day. Come hang out with us if you want to learn more. We'll be back on the Discord stream tomorrow at Market Open. Other than that, I'll see you next Wednesday for the next Bookmap stream or back in the Discord tomorrow morning. I'm out. See you.